sides, and it's pretty long. But basically, what does revitalization really mean to this administration? Is it simply the return to the state training center, or is it really a revisioning of how the state delivers training? This is a great card because, first of all, the person asks the right question, and I'll answer that in just a second. But the reason it's so great is they gave me their name and their email address, and they're offering to help. So I won't read who you are, but thank you very much. Revitalization of the training has already started. There are about, I believe, 7 people between DPA and SPB right now that have already hooked up together. They're kind of our early adopters, if you will, and they're doing phenomenal things. I don't know if you've been on the virtual training center yet, but there are, I don't know, I'm going to get this wrong, and Jody can probably go out screaming, but it's like 30 to 60 different sessions. An average of 200 people attend each webinar session. And that to me is amazing because when we ran the training center, it cost a lot of money and you could maybe train 30 to 35 people. That's all we could really house. Now with the virtual training center, 200 people can be online. Actually, I just heard of one I think Alvin was involved in where there were 500 people on the same training. So that's what we really want to do. We want to make a lot broader elements of training out there. We want to get a lot better resources to our employees because people shouldn't be out there guessing, how do I do this job? And they shouldn't be out there having to talk to their coworkers to figure out how it is you do something. We should have training online, and we should be using the very best resource that we have, which is our state employees, to do the good work that they need to do, not spend all of their time researching how it is that they do something. So with that, I'll go to my next question, which actually touches on that. What ideas are there for professionalizing the state's HR employees? And this one goes along with it too. What specific steps can you envision to increase the culture of services of CalHR? The reason those go together is to professionalize our employees really means to give them the adequate tools, the adequate information that they need to do their job, and to send them on their way. We have just an extreme wealth of experts in the HR field, and I think we've kind of let you down as an administration. We've made such cumbersome processes out there that even when I was the director of DPA, I would have to go ask my staff, now is this one we do, or does SPB do this one, or do we have to talk together and figure it out? That shouldn't be. We should all be able to go to some place that says, here are the steps, do these, and you're done. And that's really what CalHR, what the revisioning of this consolidated department will do. We'll go in, we'll get rid of all the extraneous steps, we'll still have the appropriate checks and balances, but we'll allow our HR people to get their work done. And obviously that makes them look much more professional too, because they're not constantly coming to us and asking for permission at every single baby step that they have to make. Let's see, last question. I think we answered this one. It was, will the Office of Civil Rights in the new CalHR operate the same as the office does at SPB currently? I mean, all of the components will be the same. I don't know if some different process will be changed, but yes, that will operate as the same type of office. Will it still be responsible for the annual workforce analysis and bilingual coordination responsibilities? Susie, the answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That will all transfer over to CalHR. And I sort of have a related question that I was just handed. Will there be any changes to the LEAP program, which is part of the Civil Rights Program? And Jerry Gibbons, who's sitting in the red shirt, Jerry, is our fabulous LEAP coordinator. He is one person who does the work of, 10 people. And I'm hoping that there will be changes once it goes over to CalHR and that he will be provided more resources to do his very just vital job. Because as we know, there's a whole applicant pool of persons with disabilities that is virtually untapped. And so the LEAP program is just a fabulous program that the board administers that helps us to bring in persons with disabilities into the state workforce. So I'm hoping that the changes that will occur by transferring over those functions and bilingual and the civil rights program in general, is that there will be more resources available to those functions. So positive changes. So did we have any more questions?
Julie, yeah.
Okay.
Three more, hang in there. How can you merge two departments and only achieve 15% savings and no layoffs? So the areas of SPB and DPA that overlap are obviously under the areas of admin, HR, IT, those kinds of areas, comms, legislation. We'll be able to achieve some efficiencies there. We'll be able to achieve some efficiencies through streamlining when we bring the personnel management folks and the exam management folks, those folks all together, and they figure out where we ping pong back and forth, like with the CEAs. We'll be able to streamline that process and create some efficiencies. But we didn't come up with 15% as just throwing a dart at the wall and said, okay, let's reduce staff by 15%. We came up with that as a very deliberative process of looking at what that duplication was, but also looking at what do we want Cal HR to be and what does the board want to focus on. And the board wants to focus on having an audit function. And so we want to make sure that we don't strip out personnel and not be able to do the missions of Cal HR and the board. So there's going to be a new audit function that will require staff, as well as functions that we want to start focusing on in the state that professionalize the HR group, is to look at our training function and beef that up. We want to look at workforce planning. That's a new unit that's going to be in Cal HR. So all of those will need staff. So 15% we arrived at. We worked with the Department of Finance on that amount, and they said we think this is doable. And we really have 3 years to achieve that. We've got 11-12, 12-13, Cal HR kicks in, and then we've got 13-14 to make sure that we can get that reduction of 15%. Right now, we did an analysis over at DPA, and attrition is 10%. Okay, so, sorry, we have to do a little math here. We've got 221 PYs at DPA, and we've got 169 PYs at SPB. So that's giving us, I had to do math here on my board, 390 positions. 10% a year is 39 positions. We have 3 years. So we can do this in a year and a half just through attrition. We'll have some flexibility to move people around, and this is really just a result of the streamlining and efficiencies created in the duplication of the two departments. So this is just secondary. We're not even really too worried about this. This is going to happen as we build this department. So that's that one question. All right, so I have two really easy questions here. Cal HR will have how many websites? SPB now has 2. Cal HR will have one website, and the board will have one website. So the board will have the website for the 5-member board that deals with the merit appeals, and Cal HR will have its own website. And we've already got the web team, the comms people that are working at each department already working on that website. Is there a framework or a general idea of a mission statement for Cal HR? So Cal HR becomes a department on July 1, 2012. And they'll have a director, and that director will probably want to do a strategic plan that will involve a mission and vision statement for Cal HR. So that's that director's thing. For the reorg, for the implementation of the reorg, yeah, we have a mission. It was given to us by the governor's office, and it says, it's in the public's interests for economy and efficiency in government to consolidate the human resource management functions performed by SPB and DPA into one Department of Human Resources. So that's our mission for 2 years for the implementation project. The vision, I would say, for that, and I kind of made this up, and I'll get some input from the implementation team when we get together. I want to build the best Department of Human Resources in the nation. And so that's the vision for the implementation. And when the director gets appointed for Cal HR, then they'll be able to put together a strategic plan and have a mission and vision for down the road. Oh, my contact information. I wrote it down. Can you all read it? It's julie.lee@labor.ca.gov. And we'll put that, I'll add a page to the back of the presentation, and we'll throw that up on both DPA and SPB's websites.
Okay, so that concludes our session. We appreciate everyone coming. And on behalf of the 5-member board, I just want to thank everyone. Continue to, send in your comments and your suggestions and your questions to Julie. Thanks.